When you're drawing, do your ideas come out as not quite what you've envisioned in that cute little head of yours? Well, you're in luck, because this weird-looking artist, with over 2 decades of experience, is going to help you do just that by taking your art submissions and redrawing them as a professional. And by the end of this video, I'm gonna try and combine all of the chosen submissions into a single finalized drawing. So, let us get to it. Okay, we are here with Photoshop once again, and here, let's begin with character designs. Here we have a squirrel-looking character, and I think it's similar to a game character. I forgot the name of it, but it's nonetheless very cute, made by this person. Now, you see, as a drawing in and of itself, this is already pretty good, but it's lacking something, you know? Oftentimes when we design characters that we like, we can add more things to them. Accessories, different kinds of tools to accentuate the depth of their character. So that's what I'm gonna do with this one. By taking the original sketch and copying it 9 times and then experimenting with different looks, different clothing articles to see what kind of occupations this character might have. Whimsical ones, modern ones that might be referring to some pop culture references, just to have a variety of options for me to choose from. Boom! Wow, so many options indeed. We have a rogue, a Roman legionnaire, a thief, a druid, a cyberpunk fella, wizard fella, a cowboy, a Sauron, and some sort of a deity, a Helios-like creature. Now, you can see just how much narrative context this character has gained by adding these different kinds of clothings. When designing an original character, this is the level to which you can elevate it if you introduce these sorts of details, accessories. I haven't even gone into additional attributes like scars or tattoos or something. And just by clothing, you can do so much. But alas, I must pick one. Difficult, tough choices. You know, I'm biased. Since we are the j.a.d.o.k.a.r, I'm gonna go with a wizard. I also like that this arrow that this creature was holding all of a sudden turned into a staff. So yeah, let's do that. Oh, look at this cute little fella. How fuzzy and how whimsical and wonderful. My gosh. On to the next submission. Here we have a wonderful and amazing cheese man, or rather, a dairy human creature. Seems to be made all out of dairy products. Made by a little gummy worm. Oh my gosh. Now, the milkman, character design-wise, it's complete. There's nothing much that's missing here. You got the cheese, the milk, ice cream, butter, everything. I think you got the yogurt, even the cheese knife. So we have a bit of cutlery here. So I think the only thing that is quote unquote missing in this piece that I would add would be a little bit of color. In fact, I will take this line work and copy it line by line and just separate these dairy products from one another so that I can work with them individually in different layers, making my life much easier. Proceeding then to shade each and single part of this dairy queen or king, texturing each and single part of this creature just to add a little bit of spice to the mixture. My fellow artist, Yummy Worm, I like your drawing so much that I did not really change it all that much. All I did was color in the existing line work, and I think that emphasizes a particular point. If you want your drawings to elevate themselves to a new level, all you need to do is color them in, because your line work is already super good. Had a lot of fun with this one, but there's no time to be wasted. On to the next one we must go! Whoa, my days. This monstrous figure made by... I really like it. It's creepy, it's wacky, but one key thing that I noticed here that I had the urge to discuss and develop. It's the lack of the body. Where is it? Why is it a decapitated head? I see so much potential here. The line work that you do, the volumetric kind of shaping of your lines and shading with all these wrinkles and everything is very good. I can only imagine what it would look like if there was an actual full body drawn in the similar style. No, wait, I actually don't need to, because I'm gonna draw it right now. Taking the original sketch and copying it 4 times this time to find a unique body type, experimenting with shapes and proportions in order to discover something new. Boom! So we have the mangled, bat-winged, slightly crouching, very demure, creepy-looking sloth with flaying hands, and this fella. I I like this fella. Not only is it more interesting, I like this one too, but this, if we look at the face, like the body mirrors the shape of the head. Try this out, you know, experiment with different kind of body types. See how much character you can imbue your head designs, your monster head designs with. There's so many other options I could have done, but for now, I think I'm gonna go with this ugly ass, nasty looking.
Oh, hell no, man. What the?
And in the spirit of your line art, which very looking nice, I am going to also draw it in a similar fashion. Okay, let's go. Look at this disgusting looking creature. And the face. I like it. I like the mirroring of the head and the body. Happened very accidentally. I stumbled upon that idea. This is all well and good, but now I'm missing something. We've done 3 characters, but I feel like there's something more that we can do throughout this video. Well, of course there is, you dummies. What we're lacking is environment. And that is exactly what I'm going to see what you submitted and try and redraw in a unique manner. Boom! Over to this scene. Here we have a very interesting and curious landscape drawing made by Karen. And oh my, I love the spacey vibe of this. I love the kind of wondrous landscape and also these trees that are growing with an organic pattern. It kind of reminds me of one of the clay models that I made way back when I was studying design. It was an experiment and it looks very similar with these droopy like pillars. Very, very interesting. Now, you want to create a sense of scale, and I can see here the perspective is a little bit, you know, it's like there are a few mistakes here and there in terms of scale. How, for instance, this main character in the front and the ship that has landed, it looks like it's a giant spaceman standing atop of a tiny little spacecraft. So there are a couple of ways to fix this. First, if you want to keep your proportions and your perspective correct, always begin your sketch with your overall frame within which you're going to be working. Choose the point of horizon, like the line of horizon where you want it to be above the center line or below the center line. In this case, you have it above, and it's interesting indeed. Just like David Lynch would say.
When the horizon's at the bottom, it's interesting. When the horizon's at the top, it's interesting. When the horizon's in the middle, it's boring as shit.
And from here on out, just draw perspective guidelines, you know what I'm saying? Now, we move on to the new layer, and we begin with outlining our foreground. That's the cliff that you want this fella to stand on, yes? Your cliff that is going to be below it is going to be like 1 degree less in terms of intensity. And so you gradually kind of want to go further and further away into very light contours that almost fade, like the tonal perspective fade away into the distance. And all right, now that we have this, let's go to a new layer and add in all the foliage and all of these interesting trees and other few details. And once I have that sketch, we can start cleaning the mess. And so I do the same here. I kind of draw everything intensely that's in the foreground and gradually lessening the intensity of contours the further and further I get into the background all the way up to the horizon line, making sure that I reduce the scale of all things in the distance as well. Now I could work on this further and finalize the contouring and everything and basically essentially create the same version of what is presented over on this side here. But is that really what you want me to show you? Another cleanup work? I think not. For I have a better idea. I could take all of these drawings together, meaning the character designs and this environment, and decide to not stop here. By going a step further and drawing yet another 9 versions of the scene where everybody is integrated, picking one that I like the most, and going full out texturing and shading and coloring all of this gorgeousness and magnificence. Spending a significant amount of hours working on this singular piece, trying to create the exact kind of atmosphere that can capture the whimsy of this unique interaction with this colossal creature. Thank you for watching. What a wonderful selection of submissions it was. I truly had a blast, once again. And if you want to, you can send your submissions in our Discord for me to take it in the future, hopefully, and reinterpret it in a fantastical manner. But until then, I hope you have a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever it is, the time that is in your location. Till next time.